for tuning us in here on the Weather Channel. I'm Jeff Marr. I'll be taking you through the next half hour. Let's start our tour of the country, and it's a very active country weather-wise tonight. In the west, see all these little mottled clouds kind of dotted about off the California coast and Oregon coast. That's a big pocket of cold air which is rotating out here, big upper-level storm system. Rotating around that, some moisture has been moving into California. We had some very unstable conditions. There's a little piece of energy, if you will, kind of broke off from that low and spun itself in the southern branch of the jet stream into parts of the southwest with some locally heavy showers and thunderstorms over the last 12 hours or so. Again, here's a look at just a few showers. Again, the unstable air in northwest California. A little bit of snow maybe only at the highest of elevations in the Sierra Nevada. And again, there's one of those little spokes, if you will, of energy pulling into Arizona with a few showers as well. There's some of the lighter showers. Again, some of that rain continues to pull onshore toward Cape Mendocino, south of Eureka, down toward Ukiah, and looks like a few showers have even popped up around the San Francisco Bay Area and up toward Marin County. Farther on to the south, clearing out pretty much for Southern California after some thunderstorms earlier in southwest San Bernardino County. Now a lot of that energy is pulling east of Vegas and Lake Mead and on down toward Needles, California, and right along Interstate 40, probably right on over toward the Kingman area, and maybe eventually on over toward Williams as well as Prescott. And we have some snow flying here in parts of Colorado. In fact, the snow is piling up a little bit down toward the Pueblo vicinity, and also as we head up toward Aspen and Summit counties. So I don't think this is going to be a heavy snow by any stretch of the imagination, but there could be some accumulation, particularly from the high plains, the Front Range on up into the Rockies. Pretty cool in many areas. It was only a high of 68, a normal or an average high temperature for this time of the year in Phoenix, about 75. 60 at LA is kind of cool, spent most of the day in the 50s, but believe it or not, that 62 is a record in Seattle. It's currently 52 there, 47 in Portland, 52 along the Strip in Vegas, and look at the cold air east of the Continental Divide. Denver at 14 right now, Lander at 17. Some cold Canadian air has definitely banked itself up against the Front Range of the Rockies east of the Continental Divide. 41 though at Spokane, it's 33 at Lewiston, Boise at 34, it's 55 at San Francisco, and 50 at Fresno. Up at Reno, only 33. 49 at Santa Maria, 61 at San Diego, and 62 in Imperial. Nothing to report to you earthquake-wise, but boy, it has been active recently with the earthquakes here around the Bishop, California area. Again, several reports of some quakes, one well over 4 on the Richter scale. Nothing in the Pacific Northwest, and a few quakes here, one southwest of Kodiak Island and another out toward Adak, both over 4 on the Richter scale. Then we head into the rest of the nation, and oh my goodness, the precipitation and the mess that we have out here. We have an upper-level low spinning about in the northern plains, lots of wind, blowing and drifting snow. As much as 3 to 6 inches have fallen in some areas of the eastern Dakotas, and particularly here in north-central Minnesota. So watch out traveling in those areas, particularly the secondary roads. Then we have more moisture pouring up here from the south, several areas of low pressure. All this moisture overrunning a cold dome of air in place from the lower Great Lakes on up into the northeast. Where you see the pink shading, that's where there'll be ice and or snow. Significant icing evidently near Pittsburgh and up toward Youngstown, Canton, Akron, and right up I-79. The white, of course, the snow, and we expect some of that snow is going to be locally fairly heavy. Now what we're talking about here so far is 4 inches having accumulated in Indianapolis. Looks like that's pretty much over for the time being. Still some light snow showers or flurries around St. Louis. You ended up picking up about 2 inches. Then on farther to the north, Toledo and Detroit and Cleveland, about an inch or so of snow. It looks like that has started to taper off. A big upper level piece of energy pulling its way on up through Ohio and on into western PA. There's been many reports of some significant icing. Earlier, heavy freezing rain at Youngstown and Canton, Akron. That is tapered off a bit, although another little slug of rain is coming to the north. And up toward Jamestown, looks like that may be translating into some locally heavy snow there. From Pittsburgh on over toward Johnstown and Latrobe and on up toward Du Bois and Punxsutawney, looks like it might have been a fairly significant ice storm, a lot of icing on the trees and power lines. And all this moisture is heading on up into that colder air in upstate New York. That's where it's going to be mostly snow, folks. As a matter of fact, we have our own Mike Seidel station here in Albany, New York. Precipitation just starting to get into that region. We think as we head through the morning hours and on through the day on your Friday, it's going to pile up there and probably right on back through the Finger Lakes, back toward Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. We'll keep you updated. Tune us back in tomorrow morning. Let's check a few city forecasts right now.